Hello, this video is about difference of squares. First thing that I would like to discuss is how you know something is a difference of squares problem. The first thing that you need to understand is that the word difference means subtraction. And so if I want a difference of squares problem, I want a subtraction sign, and I want two perfect squares. So for instance, I would like x squared minus 81. Now, how we factor a difference of squares question is we're going to have two sets of parentheses. And we're simply going to take the square root of each term. So we're taking this binomial to create two more binomials. So first I'm looking at the x squared. The square root of x squared would be x and x. Then I look at the second term. The square root of 81 would be 9 times 9. Then, for a difference of squares, there is always going to be one plus sign and one minus sign. And this would be your final answer, these two binomials multiplied together. Something you need to notice before we move on is that these two pairs of parentheses are always going to be the exact same, except one will have a plus sign and one will have a minus sign. That will always happen when using difference of squares. So let's take a look at one more example question. 121 x to the power 6 minus 25w squared. First thing I have to check is for a subtraction sign, because difference means subtraction. So because I have a subtraction sign, I can do difference of squares. So my answer is always going to be two sets of parentheses. And to figure out what I do or put inside this parentheses, I'm going to use the square root. So I'm going to take 121 x to the power 6 and do the square root. So the square root of 121 would be 11. So I'm putting an 11 at the front of each set of parentheses. Then if I have x to the power 6, the square root of that would be x to the power 3 and x to the power 3. Now I'm going to look at the second term and take the square root. Well, the square root of 25 is 5. And then the square root of w squared would be a w and a w. And every difference of squares problem always has one plus sign and one minus sign. Again, please notice that both set of parentheses here are exactly the same, except one has a plus sign and one has a minus sign. This is the final answer using difference of squares. Here are 3 practice questions. Please pause the video, try these 3 questions on another piece of paper, and then hit play again to see your answers.